The jobs report was much better than expected. What does that mean for me, you, and the economy? I'm going to go over that article as well as several other ones today on Real Estate Daily. Hello, my name is Troy, and every day, Monday through Saturday actually, we go over the latest news in real estate, housing, and the mortgage markets. Now, before I jump into those articles, please smash that subscribe button. We are growing daily. We love to see that growth, and we want to bring you the best content Monday through Saturday, a 5-minute content. Let's jump right into it. So CNBC jobs, says payrolls increased 528,000 in July, much better than expected, and a sign of strength for the job market. And this is fantastic news if you like inflation, because the more jobs and the stronger the job market is, inflation continues to be the problem. And the Fed has said that one of the reasons why they continue to raise, and they continue to raise aggressively, is that obviously inflation is going up, but the jobs market is so strong. So let's go ahead and do the math. If you have a job versus not having a job, you have a job, what do? You spend money. You spend money, even if you have to drive to work, you go and spend money on gas. Then you go to work and then you get your paycheck, you spend money on food and you spend money on ancillary things and you spend money on electronics and everything else. Now, spending that money causes inflation because you and everybody else who has jobs just keep spending. Now, if you were unemployed, what would happen? Well, you're staying at home. Now you don't need the gas to go drive to work, and then you're not getting a paycheck. Well, not a paycheck, you'll get an employment from the state. But with that employment, it's usually reduced, so you don't have as much expendable money, and that means you have to spend more money on energy and food, and you don't have the extra money that's there. And so that's how the Fed looks at it. The more jobs that are created, the more people that are employed, the more money that they're going to spend. If they're going to spend it, they're going to keep pushing inflation up. Next article. And this one's really disturbing to me. And this is something that we all need to see, because this is probably one of the worst articles I've seen all year. It says Blackstone is preparing a record $50 billion vehicle to scoop up real estate bargains during the downturn. Here's how to lock in higher yields with that bigger money. So this Yahoo Finance article is actually pushing you to invest into Blackstone. So what Blackstone wants to do is, on the backs of everyone's depression, if you're losing a home and foreclosures, they want to buy them up. Instead of having owner-occupieds buy them up, which that's where we really get the wealth, we keep allowing these big hedge funds coming in and buying it up and making you renters. And that's going to continue to separate the homeowners and to the poor that can't afford a home and are in rentals. And that's their idea. They've been buying homes now for about 3 or 4 years. I know they peaked right around 80 to 100,000. Well, they just came up with a fund, and I believe it's beginning at 20 to 25 billion dollars. And they're going to take all that money and they're going to look for deals. And most of those deals are going to be foreclosures, right? The easiest way to get a deal in a down market is to buy off Fannie and Freddie, because those are foreclosures in which Fannie and Freddie, instead of giving it out to real estate agents and then having our local economy get bigger. So in the last downturn, what I did was I received all these foreclosures. I obviously put them for active. I had owner-occupieds buy them up, because Fannie and Freddie would not allow for the first 2 or 3 weeks to have investors buy them up. So you have mostly owner-occs buy them up, and then they cared about the front lawn, they cared about the neighbor, they cared about the community, and at that point, they spent money in that community. Then what happened with me is that I'd receive a commission check, and I'd turn around and I'd spend it in that community. Versus Blackstone, what are they going to do with it? Well, they turn around in Washington, D.C., and they buy from Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. They are located somewhere outside of California, and they go ahead, buy these homes, and then have, at best, a local property manager, deal with it. And the property managers were the issue, 2 or 3 years ago when they started this, where they couldn't get enough property managers, and those properties really got fined quite a lot by the counties. So now they're going to go and push all forward into billions and billions of dollars in the largest part of our economy. There is no question the biggest part of our economy is going to be the real estate market here in the United States. Next article, Fannie Mae to accept lender-funded down payment assistance. Now, this is like in the past, Fannie Mae had accepted this, and no problem. But once COVID hit, they killed this program, CalHFA. A lot of CalHFA then went through conventional lines, and they kept selling CalHFA off of conventional. Now Freddie and Fannie are looking at these down payment assistance or lender-funded down payment assistance programs, and now they're accepting or buying them back. So we're going to see this happen. And this, to me, is actually, benefits the underserved groups out there. Which is really important, because before, if you can barely scrape enough money together to put a down payment down, well, then you were scared, and you had literally, unless you had the really guts to go do it, you just didn't, and you just became a renter. But now they're buying these, which means that people that don't have a whole lot of money but make good money and have a good credit score can now get into a house. I love this program. I love that Fannie's is beginning this again. So it says the borrower must make a 3% contribution to other sources of funding. So they're still making you put some money down, but it's significantly less than what you would typically do to buy a home. Next article. It says a shakeout among mortgage lenders is coming, according to CEO bank that left the business. I think this is absolutely going to happen. If in the next 6 months to a year, I mean, even today, Elon Musk said that our recession is going to go at least 18 to 2 years. If we have these recessions, and if the Fed keeps raising rates, they raise rates, the two areas in which that the collateral damage immediately happens when the Fed raises rates is the mortgage market and the consumer credit market. So your credit card bills just go flying through the roof. And that's what the New York Fed said today. They said that consumer debt is almost at an all-time high. It went up and it's almost at an all-time high. And now we're seeing, lenders are going to start leaving the business because there's just not enough business, period. We know that there is no refi. Refi business is gone. Cash out refis are drying up really fast. So now these mortgage companies have to work with real estate agents, and most of those commitments have already been made. Those relationships have already been made. So it's hard to go ahead and get new business out of this market, and that's what will squeeze some lenders out. The last thing is mortgage rates yesterday. We saw an atrocious Wednesday where rates just shot through the roof. Today, we see them just fall again. And I think it was all the FUD that the Fed chairmans had said across the United States about how hawkish they still were about this economy. And now they're changing their tune a little bit. So we're really excited about this happening, going down. I know rates bumped up a little bit today, but absolutely, we're kind of excited to see things go back down. The market's been hot for the past 30 days. Multiple offers on all the properties I put offers on. I've seen, a lot of people show up at all the properties in which I showed and viewed with my buyers this weekend. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. We're on other platforms like Instagram, which you can see below. We're on TikTok as well as Facebook. We go live. I go live on Tuesdays on the What's a Mortgage, a mortgage platform where me and Men go back and forth about the real estate and mortgage markets. We also go live here every Thursday. It's 8 o'clock p.m. It's announced on our Instagram page. Otherwise, you guys have a fantastic weekend. I will be on tomorrow, just going over a few more points of what's happened today, go over the numbers and everything. So check me out tomorrow. Otherwise, you guys take care and be safe.